It's Tuesday, October 15th, 2013. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, Neuroshima Hex. Neuroshima Hex.
Let's do this.
This weekend, I did something I have never done before. Our good friends Phil and Jay, we were out for Emily's birthday, and we went to an old quarry that was filled in with debris from the Big Dig in Boston. And
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I got a bunch of pictures and stuff. And we climbed up to the top of this huge rock, and then we rappelled down after Phil showed us how to tie a bunch of knots into these ropes so we wouldn't die. And then we spent the rest of the day climbing really high rocks.
Clearly you didn't die.
Yep, I have done. Emily took quite a fall, but she the rope
Didn't
system
die?
all worked.
Mm-hmm.
And she swung out across the rock face and got belayed and hit into a rock and was fine, and then was able to get back down.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell off the mountain a couple of times, but again, ropes saved the day.
That's what ropes do.
I've been-
Dungeons.
I've been
ropes.
free climbing and bouldering, but the thing about those two things is that you climb, but you don't really go that high. Because if you go higher than a certain point
You
and
will
you
die.
fuck up, death.
Death.
And I've done all sorts. Like
There
I've
are people
done
who do it
trekking
without
and-
ropes. They're crazy.
Yeah.
They sometimes die, and you know what? Sometimes don't.
But I've never done significant climbing in a situation like this with a rope and everything all set up. And the two things I can say about this are that one, rappelling is super fun and super easy. Two, suddenly knots are not that hard to learn.
No.
When I was a kid,
You think that the British sailors who were experts at knots were smarter than us?
no,
in our
but I
modern-
realized why I never learned a goddamn knot as a kid except for the ones to tie my shoes.
You didn't have to.
And the square knot, exactly. If in Cub Scouts, they'd sit me down and they'd be like, all right, this is a sheep shank. Here's how to do it. And I just wouldn't care.
If you were on a boat, you would have mastered the knots within like half a
Yep.
day.
But then we get to the bottom and Phil hands me a rope and he's like, tie the rope like this and put it on your thing or you'll die.
Yep.
And I was like, how exactly do I tie this?
Did I do it right?
1, 2, over and around, stab the guy in the eye, and suddenly I knew exactly how to tie all these.
Right.
I also finally learned what BFK stands for because I've heard this before at the top of like
Big
a big
fucking knot?
Exactly. I just heard the BFK and I never really, one of those things you don't think about. But I also learned that climbing in a situation like this, like not in a gym where there's just you and a rope and someone down in the bottom kind of watching you with the other end of the rope to make sure you don't die. It's kind of stressful to do the bottom part because Emily was climbing and they taught me how to belay.
Someone's life is in your hands.
Exactly. I'm holding this rope.
Don't fuck up.
And periodically,
You'll be a murderer.
they remind me, don't let go with your right hand. Don't let go with your right hand.
Yep.
Just remember, don't let go with your right hand.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I had to not let go with my right hand.
Yeah.
But climbing, when I've climbed things like this before, there are certain kinds of maneuvers that I would never attempt because if I did it okay, it'd be fine. But if I did it wrong, I would fall. But now, those maneuvers were the only way to get up the cliff face.
But if you fuck up, it's okay.
Yep, as long
there's
as
a rope.
as long as I trust the person at the bottom.
It's all about even if you go to right, you might think like, oh, I'll go to a professional place, right? Well,
You gotta trust that guy.
you're still trusting that guy. It's like, yeah, okay, it's a professional place. You hired as someone from a company, but you could still fall and die. There'll just be a lawsuit afterwards. If
Well,
you
I-
go out with your friends who are experts, it's no different. You're still trusting that guy.
Well, I had
There's
that-
just
I had
no
that moment.
lawsuit potential.
That realization long
Or
ago
less.
when I was in high school and I was in marching band where I was like learning marching stuff from these upperclassmen and the section leaders, and they were kind of responsible for all our business. And then when I was a section leader and I was looking back at these kids and I realized suddenly they're looking at me the same way I used to look at me, and I thought that I was an expert, but now I'm on the other side and I realized that I'm the exact same person now that I was then.
Yes.
I am simply on a dais.
Yes.
Like us with panels at conventions.
Exactly.
The moral, just pretend you know what you're doing.
One time I went rappelling was in Israel.
Oh.
We were at the top of this mountain,
All right.
and we rappelled down into like a cavern that was sort of it was like a cave near the top of the mountain, and the
Ooh.
cave had a hole and went from the top of the mountain and came out the sides. You would go down into this thing, and then at the bottom of it, you would go down the side of the mountain, right? And it was like, okay. So we rappelled down into the cave part, and then you just sort of walk out the bottom part.
No.
You're still not at the bottom of the mountain when you go at that part, but you're still out. But yeah, the whole cavern was full of mountain goat shit, which is a lot like tiny, tiny rabbit shit pellets, just like ankle deep and completely filling the cavern 100% everywhere.
That's kind of special.
And there were no mountain goats, but there was mountain goat shit everywhere.
That's memorable, I imagine.
Yeah, it didn't smell like shit or squish like shit. It was like they might as well have been pebbles.
Well, honestly,
but they were poops.
Like, Scott, if you go pick up one of those rabbit pellets, they smell vaguely of hay, if anything.
Exactly. These smell, I guess, vaguely of mountain hay. I don't know what mountain goats eat.
That's one thing I realized in my young life was that carnivores' poop smells like death. And omnivores' poop smells like extra death.
Vegetarian human poop isn't suddenly, great.
No, but that's because they are omnivores, even if they are eating vegetables. But animals that only eat vegetables, their poop ain't so bad. You can deal with it. Cow poop, not so bad. Horse poop, not so bad. Don't want to run my bike through it, as often is the case, but...
I avoid the bottom of Central Park for that reason.
Exactly.
Even if I don't hit anything, it smells, and tourists.
So yeah, just to make fun of the people who really, really care about consoles, I want to point out this little news, might not have gotten noticed, that Sony announced that if you buy the PlayStation 4 and you use Bluetooth headsets, fuck you.
Really?
No support. Done. You can't chat with Bluetooth headsets.
What? Well, you can't on an Xbox either.
Yeah, but you could on the previous PlayStation.
All right.
2, if you use a USB headset...
Listen, when the Super Nintendo came out, no one talked about the playing NES games on or anything
you know, I don't
like
know
that.
why? Because that was an era when the vast majority of humans, if they had a gaming console at all, had one. They had the NES. So if they bought an SNES... there was no thought of replacement. The idea was, this is a different device. The NES era went well into the SNES era. A lot of NES games that people remember that sold very well came out long after the SNES came out. And the few, the elite, who also had an old Atari, that was on the black and white TV in the den. That was on the other TV.
When the N64 came out, no one cared that it didn't play SNES games.
But again, that's backward compatibility with your proprietary bullshit.
When the GameCube came out, no one cared it didn't play N64 games.
But this is a lot like...
when the Wii came out,
this is
it
a lot
actually
like when
did play GameCube
Nintendo
games.
released a portable console that just didn't take normal headphone inputs because fuck you. That's what this is like. It's one thing to turn your back on backward compatibility for your own stuff. I'm not that mad about that. But when you turn your back on basic stuff like Bluetooth headset and USB headset...
well, the other guys don't even have it, so what do they need to have it for?
Yeah, so Sony, USB headsets. This is what's weird. At launch, quote, USB headsets that work with the PS3, some of which are PS3 branded or Sony branded, won't work with the PS2, but Sony says that there will be a system update to address that problem at some point in the future.
Okay.
For Sony branded USB headsets.
Okay.
I wonder if they mean USB headsets in general or not. It's just kind of weird that...
the rig works with Xbox.
Yes, but the rig... a lot of the ways to make the rig work involve
stupid pass-through cables.
Dubious, janky pass-through cables.
But I see you using those right there.
I only use those because they were out. I have cables that do that without the pass-through. Notice how they're not passing through?
I noticed that.
That's just to plug my control room in for the time being. But it's interesting that they're it's like, I don't know, it's like if an Apple computer didn't have USB on it anymore because fuck you.
Only Thunderbolt?
Yeah, only Thunderbird.
And Lightning Bolt? Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt.
Firebird.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Whatever.
So I just want to point out, if you're a PC gamer, USB works fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
PC never has its problems. Ever.
Exactly. PC has its own problems.
So speaking of backwards compatible, right? What's really dumb is how companies... even, they're not going to have the backwards compatibility, but they'll still sell you old games from the old systems digitally. Virtual console. But for some reason, it's like, okay, the virtual console would be a good excuse to just never use an emulator ever. If you had every game ever on there at a reasonable price. Well, forget the prices. They obviously don't have every game ever, and a lot of times it's for rights reasons or things like that.
Other factors, for example... I like the ability to have save states and to fuck around with the ROMs.
Some of the virtual console you can just kind of save, sort of.
Yeah.
Like you can just like pause and a game on the virtual console on the Wii, turn your Wii off, turn it back on, and you'll pick it up right where you left off.
Yeah, but I want to save a
Yeah, you
state
can't
before
cheat. No, you cannot.
before that jump.
Cheating will not happen.
Because you know what? I am too old to make that jump in my first 3 tries.
So those are the right. But here's something particularly egregious. All right, is when you have a game on the virtual console and then you take it away. On October 11th, they removed this game from Japanese and European virtual consoles, and on October 18th, which is 3 days from now, Friday, 9 a.m. They don't know what time zone 9 a.m. Just 9 a.m. They're gonna remove this game from the U.S. Wii Virtual Console.
Will those people get refunds?
No, it's just you. If you have it, you still have it. It's just
you can't buy it.
Yeah, you can't buy it now. But the SNES and Game Boy versions will still be the SNES and Game Boy versions will still be available. They're only removing the NES version for some reason.
What game? What the fuck?
The most important game in the whole virtual console.
Mario 3?
Yoshi's Cookie.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? Let the genocide begin. I don't like Yoshi's Cookie.
Go. I'll eat all the cookies.
Yeah.
Before they take them away.
Yeah, you know what?
Cookie Monster, come help me out here.
I'm imagining the good cat in response to all this. No, you're seriously though. My surprising visceral dislike of Yoshi's Cookie aside, because I can kind of articulate why I don't like it, but I don't hate it.
You just suck at it. You don't know how to eat cookies.
The thing is, when I did
or
play
bake
it,
them.
I was pretty good at it
You
because it's
were.
really easy. Well, not against you. Yeah, me playing you in that game is like you playing, I don't know, Advance
Dr.
Wars.
Mario?
Or Advance Wars. You're better than me at Dr. Mario, too, by far.
The difference between me at Dr. Mario and you at Dr. Mario is a wider gap than the gap of you Advance Wars, me Advance Wars.
Let's play Advance Wars again.
I'm
not saying I'm
better.
seem to recall moments.
I'm just saying the size of the gap.
I posit that the skill cap on Advance Wars is higher. And I further posit that when you accuse me of cheating, because how the fuck do you have units on every city before I get to them?
Before I even built one guy on turn 1, you have units in every city. You're definitely cheating.
No, just APC chains, man. APC
I also
chains.
do the APC chain.
You do not do it optimally with 2 APCs, 5 infantry.
Anyway.
But this is kind of bullshit, and it's kind of there's a wider case here. There's a wider problem. They don't want us to do things like emulation and piracy, but simultaneously, the official offerings are overpriced, but I would be okay if that was the only problem they had. They're also less usable, more problematic, more pain in the ass. I can't just play them on my PC.
And how can they get some games are in the Wii Virtual Console and some games are in the 3DS Virtual Console?
And also further, I don't trust them to hold on to the games that I'm playing. I don't trust their DRM.
You know how much trouble it was when my Wii was stolen to get all my stuff back on my new Wii?
I can imagine.
And
also, I own
it's not
most
like
of these
the
games.
Xbox, you just log into an account.
Do you know how many NES games I owned when I was a kid? Like 80. 80 or 90.
Anyway, just more bullshit to put on the pile.
Yep. You know what? I have a ROM of every game from an obsolete console.
And the Japanese and European ones.
Yep, up through the PlayStation 1. We're talking Ataris and televisions, MAME cabinets. I've got everything.
Everything, ever.
Except I don't have a good copy of DDR.
The thing is, a
X3.
lot of it's kind of flaky. So if someone charged me like $15 a month, I would totally pay.
Or you know what? I would pay like $1,000 for a perfect copy of what I already have.
Yeah.
That was just good.
Where all of them were guaranteed to work.
Guaranteed to work,
because a lot
and
of
I
those
own
MAME
them.
ones are way flaky, yo.
Yeah, MAME is a little worse than other things.
And
but
like FF7 PSX ROM, that crashes.
You know what? I played FF7. I bought the PC version when I was a kid.
I had borrowed the PC version from a friend.
You know what?
And
That shit crashed.
One of the CDs was scratched.
That shit crashed even without CD
They
scratches.
have it on Steam. I might buy it when it's for like $1 on Steam.
Yeah, I never beat Final Fantasy VII because right when I got to
Every time I've ever played it, it crashed.
that casino city, like I get there,
I don't think I've even gotten that far.
and then shit would just crash.
The
and the game would
farthest
be
I got in
unplayable.
they were on some tower and we beat a guy and we leapt off the tower on a rope and it exploded and then it crashed during the FMV.
You didn't get very far.
Okay.
That's disc 1 of the PC one.
I think so.
And in fact, once the game kept crashing, I was like, fuck it. And I went onto the CD and I found all these AVI files and started watching them.
Nah.
Maybe they were MOVs. I can't remember if it was a Telecaster or a Stratocaster.
Sure.
But anyway, things of the day. So Emily, the other day, she's writing a book and she needed to do some research, and she tweeted something at me, and the way that internet-y couples will have conversations with each other in the same room over Twitter. She was like, I need to do research on 40s terrorist tactics and sabotage, but I don't want to be on an NSA list.
You won't be on an NSA list.
Oh, no, it was obviously a joke tweet.
Obviously.
And I suddenly realized that might be a cool thing to research, and I immediately found a treasure trove of YouTube videos. So the one I want to link you to, because one, I did not know technology like this existed in the 40s, and the fact that this video shows it working is kind of crazy. I don't know if this was used. This is a video, and the linked videos will show you so much more awesome stuff. From the era when the US military started to be very experimental and empirical, and they started taking trains and testing ways to sabotage them, videoing their experiments, and using that to create training videos for our troops.
You just smash the rails up and the train falls off.
Yeah, you think that. Watch some of these videos. This one video, they're like, we're going to use plastic explosive to destroy a 36-inch gap on one rail. And then they put the train over, and they're like, nothing fucking happened. Let's watch it in slow motion and figure out why. And
the train's just so fucking big.
now it's kind of hard unless you know what you're doing to do it. And the thing is, they didn't know what they were doing, so they did experiments to figure out the most efficient ways to sabotage and derail trains.
We got to think it depends on the train, right? If the train,
yes, they talk about that. One of these videos is like, these experiments are all conducted on this one particular kind of train and train car.
Let's say the train has like 3 wheels, a gap, and 3 wheels. You need to make a hole in the rails big enough.
No, not
that
necessarily.
The front wheel won't reach the next rail before the.
Nope, it's much more complicated than that. The funny thing is, they got this one where they fucked the rails. Like, they destroyed.
Like twisted sideways and shit?
No, they just like ripped out huge chunks in this like crazy erratic pattern, like big gaps. And the train was like, fuck you, I'm a train.
It just bounced right over onto the next rail?
Pretty much, yeah. But then they figured it out, and then in the final parts of these videos, you see like, oh, and the video is an instructional thing. These videos are from the OSS. And they're like, here is exactly how to sabotage a train with a minimum amount of plastic explosives.
Fuck up the rails on the bridge and just blow up the goddamn bridge. Boom!
No, not bridges.
Train falls
not
in.
bridges. Actually, what I've learned is that the optimal place to cause train sabotage is in tunnels, because you're not going to destroy the bridge.
Cave the tunnel in
and
on
they
the
can just
train.
knock the train off the bridge if it's stuck there. If you derail a train in a tunnel, it's going to take them a long goddamn time to get that train out of that tunnel. So, the video I'm linking to is the Mole. The Mole is a device that was designed to derail a train when it went into a tunnel later. The way it works is it has a really primitive photovoltaic cell, and they show the video of a guy actually setting it up. I would be scared shitless to set this up, because the way it works is you stick this thing that has a really strong magnet on it on the train. Then you stick the detonator.
How do you set? Well, I mean, you have to put something on the train. Wouldn't they notice when they inspected the evil Nazis inspect their train?
Yeah,
Wouldn't
it's a
they
tiny
fucking notice
thing
it?
with a minimal amount of plastic explosive, and they show you exactly where to hide it.
So you have to get a spy to sneak over to the train and stick it on before it leaves the station.
Yeah, well, you can stick it on at any point in its journey. You stick it in this one place, and then you put some plastic explosive, an amount that I could carry in my pockets.
Yeah.
And you stick a detonator into it, and then you pull a thing off of the front of these photovoltaic cells. The fact that there is light hitting them prevents the detonator from going off. As soon as, if the light suddenly cuts out, not gradually, but if it suddenly cuts out, it explodes like 3 seconds later. So you just stick this on a train, and eventually that train is going into a tunnel, and then ba-boom! And it's set up to derail the train perfectly. I did not know that this level of sabotage technology existed at that time. And it's kind of cool that this is just a video that our own government put out. Like, hey guys, need to sabotage a train? Here's how to do it. So yeah, take this into account if you're ever making a 40s era World War video game where you have to sabotage things.
All right, well, Rim is teaching you how to sabotage a train correctly. I will teach you how to clean your bathtub. Now, if the chore that I have to do that I dislike the most is scrubbing the bathtub, because my arm hurts. My arms are weak.
You don't just spray it with something and then
Well, I
wait?
also got to scrub it and shit.
Yeah, not that much.
Yeah.
If you use one of those daily shower sprays, you don't have to really scrub ever.
But check it out. Somebody figured out a way to do this.
Just fill the whole thing with Drano.
No. How to scrub your bathtub? The manly way. Manly being awesome. You get the idea of what's going on here.
Okay, that's a power drill. I see what's going on
You see
here.
what's going on? He pretty much attaches the power drill to a bathtub scrapey bit and spins that scrapey bit around hardcore. I'm going to do this for reals.
You do it, and if you don't shrapnel yourself in the eye or ruin your tub, I will do the same.
Why would I shrapnel myself in the eye?
I don't know if it like breaks, you spin it too fast.
That's unlikely.
In the meta moment, the book club book is Stasiland. The number of books I have read since we started this book club, other than Stasiland, is now 5. I'm going to start working on 6. I think I'm going to start reading the new Locke Lamora book.
I'm just not reading books lately, and it's not in the mood for this nonfiction Stasiland. I started reading it, and I wasn't excited, so I lost my motivation.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it anyway, because I have to.
All right. What are you going to pick? You picked yet?
Something motivating.
All right. Because the longer you wait, the more painful my next choice will be.
Great.
Actually, I'll say straight up, I'm debating between, for my next set of books, Watership Down, The Satanic Verses.
God.
What? Have you ever read it?
Okay.
Read a book.
Not that book.
You haven't read that book? That famous, controversial book? The one that many people have died over?
Sure.
You haven't read that?
I guess we should read Anarchist Cookbook, too.
I've read that. It's kind of boring, and the recipes are wrong.
Sure.
And yeah, we got videos on the internet. Burning Con is this weekend. We will be there.
Shit.
Gotta finish my scenario.
Me too.
Like tonight.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, I have the scenario done. It's my old one, and I know all the problems with it, so I've been redoing it. But I think I have beliefs for the dragon, and as long as those beliefs hold up on a second reading, I think I'm good to go. That dragon does not want what the players are going to think it wants, and I think that's going to be a good thing. Okay. Also, the dragon is actually a spaceship.
The dragon does.
Spoilers.
Dragon does. Other meta items. There's a crazy Netrunner tournament this weekend in New York City. In fact, there's 2 of them. It's the Plugged In Tour, which is our Fantasy Flight Games is coming to the city. So Saturday at the Strat, Sunday somewhere the fucking Brooklyn. I don't give a shit about. I think what it's looking like now, actually, is I'm just going to stop over there like Saturday morning, check in, and then go to Burning Con because the tournament is not being run by the usual people. It's being run by the store, and they're probably going to be mad inefficient. So it's going to take way too goddamn long. So I'm just not going to enter the tournament. I'm just going to sort of do the plugged-in stuff and then jack out and come over to Burning Con.
Gonna jack out before you hit that ice. 5 subroutines. Be slow.
Yeah. I mean, I played in enough Netrunner tournaments.
Be slow.
The odds of me
and
coming...
the run.
If I come in top... The only reason to play in this one is to get these special goodies just for that one.
Oh, so now swag is what you care about.
No, I'm saying is the swag, not only do I not care about it, I care even less about this swag, because even if I got that swag, I would give it away.
All right, LinkedIn. So I just got an email, and it recommended a job that I should apply for. And of all the job recommendations I've ever gotten, so it's the WWE.
Okay.
They want a VP of digital technology.
Oh, you could do that.
For the WWE.
I could do that.
Yeah, you could do that easily. In-depth knowledge of TCP/IP and IGMP and DNS.
It's in Connecticut, though.
Yeah, Stanford. So,
yeah.
Not doing that.
Nope.
All
right. So other meta items. So the forum is having some issues, technologically speaking. The solution we have is to get Vanilla to host it for us, which was basically I have a test forum set up with them as like the free trial, and it pretty much solves every problem we have. And right, the problem is it is expensive money. It's like $150 a month expensive, which is more than the hosting bills we pay now by a lot.
Yeah, partly only because the actual audio hosting, despite the kind of ridiculous bandwidth you guys draw, because yeah, we have an X number of listeners who do like every episode as it comes out, but we have this kind of weird long tail where episodes from 7 years ago will just be downloaded a few times every day. And that all adds up a lot, and we pay almost nothing for that hosting.
Right.
So I'm worried that our hosting provider will one day be like, yeah, fuck you guys.
Libsyn's been around long enough. I think we're good. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know where we're going to get these monies from.
We got some ideas, though.
Yeah, we might have to go to it and then like put a donation link on the side of the forum or something.
There might be
and
other...
then you'll be able to. Anyone who asked to join the forum. Sorry, I can't really make it happen right now. You'll have to wait until we switch over.
You can email us and say hi, just so we can be like, hey.
Yeah,
hey.
but basically what's going to happen is I'm pretty sure it's very likely we're going to do this switch over to the expensive forum now. And when we do, basically you're going to have to turn off the regular forum during the switch over. So there's going to be a no forum time period.
I also noticed, I don't know if you noticed, but...
Or at least the time period where you can't post or anything.
It looks like there are not links to the forum discussions from episodes.
I thought there were. I thought I fixed that a long time ago.
I don't think... No, they're gone. Captain. That's why all the new people aren't posting in the forum.
Well, we can go back and fix that at some point.
Yeah. So basically, stay tuned over the next weeks and months for a bunch of sort of back-end stepping up of the Geeknights game, mostly related to the forum, but some other corporate-style things just to get us more on modern footing.
And the only other convention you have to worry about is MagFest.
MagFest.
New Year's.
MagFest.
No better way in the universe to start off 2014 than to be at MagFest for all 4 days, 24/7 hotel con with music and games.
Different cons have different rims at them. But if you find rim at MagFest in the evening or perhaps in the early morning...
That is the strongest.
It is the
strongest rim.
It is either the rim who's playing his third back-to-back game of Eclipse or the rim who is drunkenly wandering around the Bimani area. One of those two. My full power comes out.
Depending on when the Machine Supremacy concert is, it may be a different rim and altogether.
That rim might be moving his chin forward and backward in a rhythm. Probably while wearing earplugs, because
Yeah. Is there any other meta we have? Let's just wait. Whatever.
Yep. So, I can't believe we haven't done a show about this game because I play it
every day.
Every time I poop.
This is perhaps the only game I play almost every day.
This literally is the game to play if you have to take a poop and you're a male-identified gendered person.
Why not a female-identified person?
But in my experience, most of the women I talk to think it's gross that men take so much time pooping.
Way to be sexist. If you're a person...
That's why I was very careful in my description
If you're a person, a human being...
who takes about 7 to 10 minutes to poop.
Who poops and poop comes out your butt and you have to sit in a toilet for a time period while the poop is coming out.
It'll take exactly one game of Neuroshima Hex worth.
Exactly. You need this game. So Neuroshima Hex was originally a board game.
Well, it was originally a role-playing game.
What?
Neuroshima Hex is a Polish tactical board game based on the Neuroshima role-playing game, which I've never...
so the theme comes from a role-playing game I've never heard of before this moment.
Published by Wydawnictwo Portal, which does not have a Wikipedia
Neuroshima
page.
Hex is a board game that has nothing to do with role-playing, except maybe the theme of it. And it is a great board game.
It was actually recommended to us by two friends we meet at conventions every year.
But the problem with the board game is that the way the game works has this sort of resolution phase, and you will, I imagine, playing the board game, unless you're very careful, you will mess it up. And playing the video game on your phone means that you can't possibly mess it up, and you can also play against the AI or your friends.
Except there's a bug in the Android one, at least last I saw, where if you move an HQ on top of a grenade, it crashes.
Oh.
So you can't do that.
I did that and it worked, and my HQ didn't even take damage.
It's not supposed to take damage.
Then it worked. Did it right, didn't it?
Yeah. The Android one, it just crashes if you move your HQ on top of a
Go
landmine.
iOS. Go iOS.
Yeah, it's fine.
iPhone.
That's fine.
It's a birthday.
The deal with this game...
Almost, actually. No, it was your birthday in July.
It was recommended to us particularly by someone who recognized that
the first time I ever saw it, Pete showed it to me at Kineticon.
Yep. There is an Advance Wars drought in my life. I've played them all to the end, in the extreme.
I'm thinking about going back and playing all the Advance Wars, starting with Advance Wars.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, don't forget to play Desert Commander on the NES.
Oh, I should.
Yeah. That game is mad easy.
Maybe I'll just play Famicom Wars on my Game Boy 1 emulator.
Woo! I remember we were trying to play that Versus, and you can't
NES
tell
emulator.
the units apart. It's like, is that a tank or a dude? I don't know.
I don't know. Can you read that Japan moon language? Nope.
So, this game, it was recommended to us as a, not really a replacement for Advance Wars, but that it can scratch a similar itch.
It is a turn-based strategy game.
Yep. It is a turn-based game that is very simple rules. It is an ortho game in the fullest extent of that definition.
All right, I'm not gonna explain all the rules, but here's the gist. You've got a hexagonal-shaped board, and you've got hexagonal-shaped pieces.
With a radius of 5, diameter of 5.
Yeah. On your turn, first thing, everyone has one hex piece that's the base, and the base has 20 hit points, and when it takes 20 damage, you lose.
Yep.
And you want to make the other people die by dealing 20 damage to them.
And you've got
just like Magic the Gathering.
And you've got a bunch of other tiles that have guys with initiatives and attacks and maybe powers.
And every turn you get some pieces. You can't keep all of them.
You get 3, discard 1, play the other 2.
Yep, you don't even have to play the other 2. You can play like 1 if you want.
Yep, you can throw the other ones away. You can hold on to them and use them another turn.
But you play hexes on the board, and then whenever there's a battle, all the pieces sort of do their thing in initiative order, dealing damage to adjacent pieces or pieces far away, and pieces shoot each other, pieces shoot bases, pieces can net other pieces to prevent them from doing anything, pieces boost other pieces, increase their damage. Every different headquarters, every different faction has a different special power, etc. So it's all about placing your pieces in the right order, triggering battles, moving pieces, etc. So that when the battle happens, you deal more damage to the other guy than he does to you. Or even if you take more damage, you kill so many of his guys that you're gonna kill him off in the next battle or whatever. You don't even have to kill him completely. You just have to do more damage than you got dealt over the course of the game.
Now you can idly play this 3 or 4 player, but that shit sucks for all the reasons we've talked about in the lectures for the last 7 or 8 years.
2-player is the way to go.
It's a 2-player game.
Even against the computer, I play this 2-player. And I think in a recent update, the AI has gotten way, way better. I had a period of time where the AI literally could not even beat me, let alone it couldn't even damage me that much. Now I'm losing once in a while. And I'm also, because I used to just play blue guy every time.
Well, because blue guy is the best OP hacks.
Yes, now I sort of play random guy against random guy. Sometimes I get blue. Sometimes I'm against blue. Sometimes blue isn't even in there.
I only play 3 colors. Mm-hmm. I've played them all, but I only play blue. Though when we play, Scott and I, we both ban blue. No blue, because it's too powerful. Blue, light purple, or dark purple. Those are my 3.
Those are okay.
Also, I can consistently
I've gotten
beat blue
better
with dark
at. I'm trying to
purple.
get better at using money guy who takes over the other guy's units. Because thematically, I like that guy the best.
Nah. Thematically, I like light purple because that's New York City saying fuck you to the rest of the world.
That's true. That's also a good one.
Yep.
You're talking about the RPG theme. I'm talking about the game mechanic.
Mechanically, those guys are super strong, super resilient, and have a few big distance hitters.
Yeah. But
so
the other purple guy just surrounds himself first, so you can't damage him because all his guys next to his HQ take 2 damage to kill.
Yep.
And some of his guys already have armor, so they double their armor.
Yup. I love that so much.
And then after that, he just puts all his guys on you. And every time there's a battle, okay, you damage his guys a little bit, and then he puts some more guys on you.
But then dark purple has all these guys that shoot twice. They have 2 initiatives. They shoot out one side. They have a reflector out the back that just reflects any damage
those
that comes
guys
from
are
that direction.
jerks because they can move themselves for free.
And they can move. So if you put a guy to attack him, they go whoop.
Yeah.
And if you put one of those guys attacking and you put a damage multiplier on him, shit's fucked.
The worst is I had a guy and I was attacking his HQ with big ranged weapons, like double damages, and it was like going to do 3 damage to him twice. He put one of the reflectors there, and it ended up bouncing
Yup.
all that damage. The damage doesn't get bounced back to the guy who shot it.
Nope, it goes back from the person that has the reflector.
So I did 6 damage to my own HQ, and I just quit.
I go for that. There's 2 things I go for when I play the game. Well, 3 things I go for. I go for what's the most ridiculous negative I can get an enemy HQ to.
Yeah.
What? I don't remember what exactly I go for because I haven't played it in a couple days because my poops have been too short.
Uh-oh, short poops.
Yeah, I got to start pooping longer.
Eat more.
Yeah.
Eat more nasty food.
Oh, I always go for the reflection onto the HQ, or I go for doing something really angering with like Red's bomb. Red's bomb, or any of the weird pieces like that.
Yeah. The one thing about this game, though, is that no matter how good you are, there is a luck element that can happen.
Huge luck element.
It's like if you just start the game and your first 3 pieces are all movement pieces. It's like, well, now you have to throw one of those away, which you kind of wanted later on when it would be really useful. And you don't have any guys to put on the board.
Yep, sometimes...
And if you try to keep your movement pieces, well, you're going to only draw 1 new piece now.
Sometimes with blue, I'll get my awesome net guys when there's no way to use them effectively.
Yeah, it'll be like, well, I can't put him right next to his HQ right now because it's all clogged up. And no matter how many battles there are, it'll stay clogged up. So now I have to use my awesome triple damage net guy, which I only have 2 of, which are the only way I can win this game, and use him to kill like a nothing out in the middle of nowhere, and hope I get enough movement pieces to move him closer to the HQ later, which will not happen, ever.
But the game has a nice cascade of that you make quick decisions, you know, discard a piece, play 2.
Yeah,
back
each turn, you don't make such a small decision that it's almost meaningless. Like Ticket to Ride is like, on your turn, it's like you make almost no decision.
Yep,
it's
the decisions
small.
matter a huge amount. Every move you make, the slight rotation of a piece matters so much in the end.
You make a significant but quick decision each turn that matters a ton, and you take lots and lots of turns going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
And then, periodically, either because you played a battle card or because the thing filled up, there'll be a big old battle and everything just
I love it
resolves.
when the thing doesn't fill up because you have a landmine down.
Yep, and then the AI will never put something on that landmine.
Yeah, and I just wait until I'll just like wait every turn and be like, oh, come on.
Yep. I will also very often wait just to force the other guy to spark the battle so I can then move in on his now clear base.
Another thing is I'll put a landmine next to myself, like in a defensive position.
Yep.
And then when the time is right, I'll actually use a useless piece to get rid of my own landmine, then put a good piece there for super defense.
Or the classic piece. I feel like the AI, at least on iOS, and Android, is obsessed with doing this. If he can bump a guy into a landmine, he'll do it no matter what.
Yes, that happens a lot.
That is his favorite thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always do it, but he will do it to the exclusion of all other good ideas.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it's not like a super intelligent AI. It's just like
it's competent.
It's like I don't understand. It has certain patterns that it follow that are relatively complex. Like somebody went in and hard coded in a bunch of rules, right? Like, you know, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And one of those rules is bump a guy into the landmine.
It's definitely
but because a human hard coded all these rules, it actually ends up being pretty damn good at the game.
Yep, there's no way it's adaptive because the same things always work on it.
And sometimes, occasionally, it will do something really dumb, you know, for no reason.
Yep. Like I don't think it quite understands the ramification of reflected damage.
No. And the other thing that really ruins me at this game is when I misinterpret what is going to happen.
Yep. Either because I wasn't paying attention.
Yep. Or because I didn't know the rule about something.
And I never read the rules. I literally just played this game 100% by trial and error.
You can keep opening. There's an interface you can open that lets you click on like any hex and it will tell you what that piece does. And a lot of times it's like, oh, I didn't realize that guy was absorbing the power. Like, for example, there's a guy who absorbs the powers given to by enemy boosts. So if I have a +1 melee...
I love that guy.
If I have a +1 melee damage and he's next to it, he's getting +1 melee damage. And you have to look really carefully to realize that. So, you know, that's one thing. Did you know that guy absorbs powers from enemy HQs? If you put him
I knew that.
If you put him next to the light purple HQ, well, he's got super armor. Oh, shit, I did not know that. And I ended up getting fucked by it.
Yeah.
He was next to my green HQ, and he attacked again. And I was like, no, what? Oh, no.
No, that moment.
Because there is no visual indication of that. You just have to know the rules and then look and see that.
Now... playing this game by trial and error was interesting because I would often be confronted with situations that made no sense, and then the game almost became figure out what the rule was with that particular piece because I didn't understand why what happened.
Yep. Or, dang, I would have put that guy there. I would have used my gun to kill a guy if I would have known.
And I think it's more fun if you don't read the rules and just try to play the game.
What's also weird is like some of the snipers will just kill a guy no matter how much health he has, and some of them it's like, nope, does 1 damage. It's like, how do I know the difference?
Though, one thing that I have thought of recently, I accidentally, because I got an Android phone, a new one, and I started playing Neuroshima Hex on the subway once, and there was all this music and sound effects that I had never heard before.
Oh, why?
Because when I first installed the game, I turned off all the sound effects because I always played it in the bathroom.
Oh, I just turned the sound down?
I don't play games in the bathroom with sound.
Yeah, when I go into the bathroom, I turn the volume down on the phone.
But I just leave the volume off because I only play this game when I'm pooping.
Okay. Yeah, all the different guys make different noises. Like the chainsaw guy goes, ring, ring,
yeah,
ring, ring, and the gun guy's like, pa, 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 pa. It's pretty interesting.
What's interesting is I've played as red, and I find red really powerful, but I don't like red.
Not only red
viscerally don't like playing red.
Red might be my least favorite guy to play as or against.
Because yellow's just sad and kind of sucks, but red is good.
Yellow isn't that sad.
Yeah,
Yellow can do a ton of damage. If yellow has like one good battle, he's just going.
You play yellow, I'll play any color. I'll beat you. Or do you deny that yellow?
Yellow
will lose?
Also has some tricky net guys too.
Yeah, whatever. A couple of net guys. They don't do
the guy who
damage.
has the net on the left and the right with the damage in the middle.
Yeah, 1 damage in the middle, initiative 2. What the fuck ever.
That guy can be really. He'll come in and be like, boom, at the right moment. You'd be like, shit.
Yep. Better than purple guys. Spend a health from the HQ to net anybody.
That guy's pretty good.
Yep.
You know what's really good is when that guy you netted got killed and then you can net someone else.
Exactly.
Or
especially if you have the thing that lets you net for free.
The thing that lets you net for free. Oh my god. I just stick that way out somewhere. It's like, yeah. Go attack that.
Yeah, go kill it.
Go waste a guy attacking that thing. Meanwhile, I netted you. Yeah, what?
Now, despite the extremely high luck component in this game, it's very well balanced. And it's interesting.
If you play enough games, the better player will win all of them.
And
most of them.
The golf in skill is pretty high. Like if you play this game, like if Scott or I play this game against someone who's played it maybe 10 or 15 times, we would crush them automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Playing against someone who's never played it before, like I wouldn't even be trying to win. I'd be trying to like not take any damage and bring them down to 0.
Yep.
Someone who's played this game, who's pooped a lot, will be incredibly good at this game. There is actually a wide gulf of skill before the luck becomes the deciding factor.
Yep.
And even then, it's only the deciding factor per game.
Mm-hmm.
And in the advanced play, like when you've got, like if Scott and I play at this point, there's a lot of the bluff factor because we both have memorized all the tiles.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's the highest level of play that I haven't reached just because laziness is.
Well, I've memorized all the tiles of some of the sets.
Memorize all the tiles and then count the tiles because you see when someone discards a piece. So you can figure out exactly which tiles they have left in their stack and be like, aha, he doesn't have any net guys left. The only way he can stop this move is if he has a net guy left, which he definitely doesn't have. I gotcha.
I do it the same way I do hearts, because usually when I play hearts, I'm playing socially, so I don't maintain a complete and total count in my head, just because it's not worth the effort unless we're playing
It's like,
for money.
that set has 3 reflecting guys, and I've killed 2. There's only 1 left.
Yep.
I gotcha.
So I do a soft count. I basically remember for each set the number of guys that can fuck up my day, and I count how many of them I've seen.
Yep.
So I know how many guys remain that could fuck up my day. Like purples drop in on top of any guy killing him.
One time, I was playing as purple. I got that piece. I realized what it did. I dropped it. It literally was like the biggest swing in points. It killed. It has 4 damages. It does. It killed 4 enemy guys.
Yep.
Took no damage. Saved my HQ from like a zillion damage. And the guy. It was just unbelievable placement. It was the best thing ever.
But seriously, what else can we say? This is a game that is so cheap. It's on every phone unless you have like an old
you do
Palm
have
Pre.
to pay more if you want all the colors. I say I played it for a long ass time without buying the extra.
Just with the 4 base colors.
Just with the 4 base colors. And then until I got bored of that, and then I just bought all the expansions in a bundle, and then it was worth it. I played the game so much, I was willing to pay that much for it. I mean, other mobile phone games I've played sort of come and go, right? Like Angry Birds, played it a ton, and then I haven't played Angry Birds in 100 years. Various tower defenses on my phone, played a whole bunch, then stopped playing. This is the only game that has true staying power. Every poop, I'll never delete this game from my phone. Even really good phone games like Super Hexagon. It's like, I haven't played that on my phone in forever. But I will always play Neuroshima Hex, probably. Ultimate phone, #1 phone game of all time.
It's a good game of skill. It's like a puzzle. It requires a lot of thought to be good at. While there's randomness, it's mitigated randomness, and part of your job as a player is to understand the effect of the randomness and try to plan
And
for
if you
it.
got fucked by randomness, just restart the game and play a new one.
Yep.
Before your poop is over.
There is no excuse not to have this game on your phone, unless you are the kind of person.
If I see someone who's a nerd, I expect this game to be on their phone.
I expect that they're playing it when they're in a convention stall pooping.
Yeah, and the other thing is a lot of other board games that are on phones or tablets are really only good for
extended diarrhea sessions.
Well, everyone's sitting around playing, say, Puerto Rico on the iPad or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
You're not going to play against the AI with settlers and have a good time.
Exactly. But this game is both sort of a Germanish, it's not German, but, a really good board game that you can also play on your phone, and it will do so frequently.
Yep.
Every day, in fact.
And you know what? It's also a good idle game to play with people. Like if you're standing on a tram.
It's got hot swap, so your friend doesn't even need to have it.
Yep.
And you can also connect phone to phone.
Only with iOS.
Yeah.
Not with Android.
That sucks.
But yeah, if you're just waiting in line at, say, a PAX, or you're on a tram trying to get to a PAX, it's about one game's worth is the time it takes you to get anywhere.
Yeah, so you take a turn, give the phone to your friend. They take a turn, give it back to you. Take a turn. And then eventually it's going to be done real quick.
Yeah.
You could play it while you're waiting for a meal to come at a restaurant after you've ordered.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night. Magic Man.
Magic Man is the best character.
He actually came back recently.
I know, but he said I'm not coming back.
He lied.
Or I guess he wasn't coming back in relation to that.
I guess.
That was on the black and white TV in the den. That was on the other TV.
When the N64 came out, no one cared that it didn't play SNES games.
But again, that's backward compatibility with your proprietary bullshit.
When the GameCube came out, no one cared it didn't play N64 games.
But this is a lot like...
When the Wii came out,
this is
it
a lot
actually
like when
did play
Nintendo
GameCube games.
released a portable console that just didn't take normal headphone inputs because fuck you. That's what this is like. It's one thing to turn your back on backward compatibility for your own stuff. I'm not that mad about that. But when you turn your back on basic stuff like Bluetooth headset and USB headset.
Well, the other guys don't even have it, so what do they need to have it for?
Yeah, so Sony, USB headsets. This is what's weird. At launch, quote, USB headsets that work with the PS3, some of which are PS3 branded or Sony branded, won't work with the PS2, but Sony says that there will be a system update to address that problem at some point in the future.
Okay.
For Sony branded USB headsets.
Okay.
I wonder if they mean USB headsets in general or not. It's just kind of weird that...
The rig works with Xbox.
Yes, but the rig... A lot of the ways to make the rig work involve
stupid pass-through cables.
Dubious, janky pass-through cables.
But I see you using those right there.
I only use those because they were out. I have cables that do that without the pass-through. Notice how they're not passing through?
I noticed that.
That's just to plug my control room in for the time being. But it's interesting that they're it's like, I don't know, it's like if an Apple computer didn't have USB on it anymore because fuck you.
Only Thunderbolt?
Yeah, only Thunderbird.
And Lightning Bolt? Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt.
Firebird.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Whatever.
So I just want to point out, if you're a PC gamer, USB works fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
PC never has these problems. Ever.
Exactly. PC has its own problem. It's Tuesday, October 15th, 2013. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, Neuroshima Hex. Neuroshima Hex.
Let's do this.
This weekend, I did something I have never done before. Our good friends Phil and Jay, we were out for Emily's birthday, and we went to an old quarry that was filled in with debris from the Big Dig in Boston. And
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I got a bunch of pictures and stuff. And we climbed up to the top of this huge rock, and then we rappelled down after Phil showed us how to tie a bunch of knots into these ropes so we wouldn't die. And then we spent the rest of the day climbing really high rocks.
Clearly you didn't die.
Yep, I have done. Emily took quite a fall, but she the rope
Didn't
system
die?
all worked. And she swung out across the rock face and got belayed and hit into a rock and was fine and then was able to get back down. And I fell off the mountain a couple of times, but again, ropes saved the day.
That's what ropes do.
I've been-
Dungeons.
I've been
ropes.
free climbing and bouldering, but the thing about those two things is that you climb, but you don't really go that high. Because if you go higher than a certain point
You
and
will
you
die.
fuck up, death.
Death.
And I've done all sorts. Like
There are
I've done
people who do it
trekking
without
and-
ropes. They're crazy.
Yeah.
They sometimes die, and you know what? Sometimes don't.
But I've never done significant climbing in a situation like this with a rope and everything all set up. And the two things I can say about this are that one, rappelling is super fun and super easy. Two, suddenly knots are not that hard to learn.
No.
When I was a kid,
You think that the British sailors who were experts at knots were smarter than us?
no,
in our
but I
modern-
realized why I never learned a goddamn knot as a kid except for the ones to tie my shoes.
You didn't have to.
And the square knot, exactly. If they're in Cub Scouts, they'd sit me down and they'd be like, all right, this is a sheepshank. Here's how to do it. And I just wouldn't care.
If you were on a boat, you would have mastered the knots within like half a
Yep.
day.
But then we get to the bottom and Phil hands me a rope and he's like, tie the rope like this and put it on your thing or you'll die.
Yep.
And I was like, how exactly do I tie this?
Did I do it right?
1, 2, over and around, stab the guy in the eye, and suddenly I knew exactly how to tie all these.
Right.
I also finally learned what BFK stands for because and I've heard this before at the top of like
Big
a big
fucking knot.
Exactly. I just heard the BFK and I never really, one of those things you don't think about. But I also learned that climbing in a situation like this, like not in a gym where there's just you and a rope and someone down in the bottom kind of watching you with the other end of the rope to make sure you don't die. It's kind of stressful to do the bottom part because Emily was climbing and they taught me how to belay.
Someone's life is in your hands.
Exactly. I'm holding this rope
Don't fuck up.
and periodically
You'll be a murderer.
they remind me, don't let go with your right hand. Don't let go with your right hand.
Yep.
Just remember, don't let go with your right hand.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I had to not let go with my right hand.
Yeah.
But climbing, when I've climbed things like this before, there are certain kinds of maneuvers that I would never attempt because if I did it okay, it'd be fine. But if I did it wrong, I would fall. But now those maneuvers were the only way to get up the cliff face.
But if you fuck up, it's okay.
Yep, as
This
long
is
as
a rope.
as long as I trust the person at the bottom.
It's all about even if you go to right, you might think like, oh, I'll go to a professional place, right? Well, the
You gotta
only
trust that guy.
you're still trusting that guy. It's like, yeah, okay, it's a professional place. You hired as someone from a company, but you could still fall and die. There'll just be a lawsuit afterwards. If
Well,
you go out with your friends who are experts, it's no different. You're still trusting that guy.
Well, I had
There's just
that- I had
no
that moment.
lawsuit potential.
That realization long
Or
ago
less.
when I was in high school and I was in marching band where I was like learning marching stuff from these upperclassmen and the section leaders and they were kind of responsible for all our business. And then when I was a section leader and I was looking back at these kids and I realized suddenly they're looking at me the same way I used to look at me and I thought that I was an expert, but now I'm on the other side and I realized that I'm the exact same person now that I was then.
Yes.
I am simply on a dais.
Yes.
Like us with panels at conventions.
Exactly.
The moral, just pretend you know what you're doing.
One time I went rappelling was in Israel.
Oh.
We were at the top of this mountain,
All right.
and we rappelled down into like a cavern that was sort of it was like a cave near the top of the mountain. And the cave had a hole and went from the top of the mountain and came out the sides. You would go down into this thing, and then at the bottom of it, you would go down the side of the mountain, right? And it was like, okay. So we rappelled down into the cave part, and then you just sort of walk out the bottom part.
Oh.
You're still not at the bottom of the mountain when you go at that part, but you're still out. But yeah, the whole cavern was full of mountain goat shit, which is a lot like tiny, tiny rabbit shit pellets, just like ankle deep and completely filling the cavern 100% everywhere.
That's kind of special.
And there were no mountain goats, but it was mountain goat shit everywhere.
That's memorable, I imagine.
Yeah, it didn't smell like shit or squish like shit. It was like they might as well have been pebbles,
Well, honestly,
but they were poops.
Like Scott, if you go pick up one of those rabbit pellets, they smell vaguely of hay, if anything.
Exactly. These smell, I guess, vaguely of mountain hay. I don't know what mountain goats eat.
That's one thing I realized in my young life was that carnivores' poop smells like death, and omnivores' poop smells like extra death.
Vegetarian human poop isn't suddenly, great.
No, but that's because they are omnivores, even if they are eating vegetables. But animals that only eat vegetables, their poop ain't so bad. You can deal with it. Cow poop, not so bad. Horse poop, not so bad. Don't want to run my bike through it, as often is the case, but
I avoid the bottom of Central Park for that reason.
exactly.
Even if I don't hit anything, it smells, and tourists.
So yeah, just to make fun of the people who really, really care about consoles, I want to point out this little news, might not have gotten noticed, that Sony announced that if you buy the PlayStation 4 and you use Bluetooth headsets, fuck you.
Really?
No support. Done. You can't chat with Bluetooth headsets.
What? Well, you can't on an Xbox either.
Yeah, but you could on the previous PlayStation.
All right.
2, if you use a USB headset.
Listen, when the Super Nintendo came out, no one talked about the playing NES games on or anything
You don't want to
like
know
that.
why? Because that was an era when the vast majority of humans, if they had a gaming console at all, had one. They had the NES.
Mm-hmm.
So if they bought an SNES, there was no thought of replacement. The idea was this is a different device.
Mm.
The NES era went well into the SNES era. A lot of NES games that people remember that sold very well came out long after the SNES came out.
Mm.
And the few, the elite, who also had an old Atari